Okay, as I promised, I'm gonna do a notebook tutorial. I start with bonding primer to prime the whole notebook, and you always have to get a notebook with a hard cover. I actually get mine that are leathered, but are leather, not leathered. But you can do this, you know, shiny hardcover absolutely fine. Just anything else other than like a proper paper cover, because obviously paper one is not hard enough, and then all the moisture from your paint and everything else will go into the paper, so it has to be something harder, but you also have to then prime it just so the paint holds on better to it, especially the shiny ones, because the leather I could probably just paint it, but I like priming them just in case. And the spine as well. It might be shaking a little bit, my camera, because it's on my neck brace. So when I'm shaking, painting, then it's shaking as well. Okay, then I'm opening that and putting my hand through. I could just, you know, dry it and then do the other side, but I can just do it like this by holding my hand inside and then priming it. Then I'm gonna dry it, and then we're gonna start playing and adding things and painting. So we're gonna add a postcard actually instead of decoupage. I'm gonna add a postcard. It's gonna be Alice in Wonderland theme notebook, and then we're gonna add molds, stencils, other things. Okay, so I'm gonna dry it now with my hair dryer. Oh, that is here next to the bin, sorry. Okay, it was a very thin coat, so everything is dry, and then I'm gonna put it here. And first I always pick decoupage or postcard or whatever, so that will give me the theme of what I'm working with. So I've picked this one, so it's a little bit like Alice in Wonderland, and you always rip the edges off. Postcards are a little bit more difficult to use as decoupage because obviously they are very thick, so to blend those edges, I'm gonna do some stencils over it. I'm gonna do actually a raised stencil, so that will blend it really well. And then sometimes I add also on a thick edge, it's nice to add a mold, so that gets rid of that line and covers it, or even a transfer. So we're gonna play with all of those to get this on. Okay, there it is. I'm not gonna rip the bottom because my paper will go here. And what do I need? Glue. I'm actually using super glue, but you could use other things. Super glue is just quickest for me. So I'm doing all the edges. Obviously I wouldn't use super glue on proper decoupage, but on a postcard, that's absolutely fine. And then I'm putting it here. Make sure that it's stuck. Then I'm gonna wipe off the excess because otherwise that will damage my paintbrushes. I need some paper. Here I have some paper to wipe it off. There we go. And now I'm gonna use the fiber paste and do some stencils. So I have both. We can either go with diamonds because we have diamond here, or we can go with squares because we have squares there. So I think for the race stencil, I'm gonna do the squares, and then a diamond will maybe go on top later on as a normal stencil. And so let's see. Oh, that wasn't opened yet. There we go, brand new. If you are local to Edinburgh, then there is a great shop in Fife called Causeway Creations. That's where I got all my supplies, really, most of them. And they have great variety of upcycling supplies. So I'm gonna do it with palette knife. I never really done it with palette knife. Normally I have a spatula or something, so it might be a mess, but we'll see. So you see, I put my squares on top of that line, but then also I will go a little bit onto the postcard just to blend it a little bit better. And yeah, palette knife works just fine. There we go. I mean, we'll find out if it works fine when I lift it up. And do I want all the squares? I don't know. Do I want it here and there? Or maybe here and there. Maybe not like a full coverage of all the squares, because that's gonna look weird, I think. Okay. And then I should really wipe it a little bit. And then I'm placing it on a couple of squares, so I'm definitely going the way it should be going. And then I'm just gonna do, yeah, like not a full coverage, like here and there, kind of. There we go. Okay, we're lifting it up again. It's kind of full coverage. And again, okay, are they lining up? There we go. A little bit more. Yeah. And then I'm gonna dry it before I go to the back. Sometimes when I'm doing the notebooks, I can do the whole cover first and then go and do the back, but on the other hand, it's probably quicker just to dry it than do the back and stuff like that, because otherwise I would have to wash the stencil, then dirty it up again. So I'm just gonna do it at the same time. Okay. And a couple of squares here. And there we go. That goes here. I'm gonna close it for now so it doesn't dry. And I'm gonna put this to the side. And we're gonna try this with my hair dryer again. That dried quite quick. Probably only done like a minute on it. So then I'm gonna put it on the other side and we will do the same. So my fiber paste, and we're going over this, and then I'm gonna wash my stencil straight away because I don't want this paste to dry on my stencil. So always, if you do an erase stencil with any medium, you want to wash it straight after, because obviously it hardens, and you don't want that on your stencil. There is some, and squares again. Okay. Go, and I think I will leave it like that. I'm not gonna add any more. Then I'm gonna close that. And I'm gonna wash my stencil and dry this and come back. Okay, this is now dry, and I'm gonna start painting. I'm gonna go, obviously you could go like a cream color and then add burgundy and green onto it, but I don't do cream, so I'm gonna do burgundy and then green. When I do Alice in Wonderland furniture, I very often do the burgundy and green, because yeah, I like that color scheme for Alice in Wonderland. I also like the the turquoise one, but I probably prefer the burgundy. Okay, my cats are going wild in the garden, so they might be throwing some things. And then I'm gonna take a smaller brush. Where is it? Here, and I'm gonna go here, so I don't do too much of that burgundy on my postcard. There we go. I will have to do 2 coats anyway. It's a good idea. I mean, it will be easy to wipe off. I just thought I'm gonna smudge it a little bit, but maybe not. So I'm gonna do 2 coats of the burgundy, and then I'm gonna do some dry brushing with green, maybe some black on that raised stencil, probably, and yeah, we'll see what else. Notebooks are quite quick. I mean, if you have an idea, because I always say during my classes, the picking part, like deciding what papers you're going to use, like what theme you're going for and stuff like that, that's the longest part. So it always takes even like half of the class is just you deciding and picking and collecting ideas, and then the second part of the class, it's painting, and sometimes it's even quicker than deciding. So yeah, but I already have an idea, so I'm not making any decisions as I go, so that should be quite quick. We'll see. So it's something nice to do if you're waiting for your furniture to dry, or you're not doing furniture at all and maybe you just want to do some smaller crafts and want to learn, or that's a good starting point before you go on to furniture, like do some small crafts, and then once you have that figured out, you move on to furniture. Okay, and some more paint. And I really love that burgundy color from Annie Sloan. It's one of my favorites. I've used it many times. There we go, everywhere here. And then I'm gonna lift it up again, put my hand in between the pages, and then do the spine, and then do the back. So I will also be drying it when it's still on my hand. I'm not gonna put it down because obviously I have the back as well. There we go. Sorry, the angle when I have it up, like my camera is a little bit too close to my notebook, but I can't zoom it out. So it's not really comfortable for me to paint. But there we go. Oh, I mean, it's comfortable for me to paint, but then you don't see it. Okay, I'm gonna dry it. Let's dry it. Okay, that's this dried. So I'm gonna go again. And now you see how nice the coverage is on the second coat. There we go. I should really be doing it with this camera set up on like above the table, but I do have it. Just never thought about it. Oh. So we're gonna go like that. So this what it is. And now let's say there are some white bits from the raised stencil, so I'm gonna go over it. There will still be, you know, black going over it and stuff like that, so the white bits will be covered. So I'm gonna focus more on the background. Then I'm gonna grab my brush for a second, the small one again, because I've put it in water. Okay, I'm done with the big brush. I'll take the small one and let's do those again. So there is no white bits. And here. And in here. Okay. There we go. Perfect. So again, dry it and repeat. I mean, not repeat this color, but yeah, just dry it in between coats before I go with another coat. So this goes away. That can be closed over here, and let's go for a hair dryer. So this is now dried, and we're gonna go with the Amsterdam green and a nice brush like this, which is very uneven, and we're gonna do kind of dry brushing, but not really dry brushing, a little bit more than dry brushing. Shall I do the back first? I'll do the back first. Some of the green here and there, because we had green on the postcard, and it goes with the Alice theme anyway. A little bit more like that, and then when I'm gonna do those squares black, that's gonna look really nice. Okay, I'm gonna quickly dry the back, and then it will be, we'll just focus on the cover. Okay, let's have some fun at the front. So again, some green, and if I have some white bits there. Yeah, and I always put those like a piece of paper behind the cover at the front and at the back, so I protect my pages from getting paint on it. Can probably do it without it, but it always works a little bit better when you have it, just for that extra protection for the pages. Okay, that's enough green. And what should we do now? Probably the black before I start adding on top of that, because I have the molds. So they were cast in epoxy resin, which sets in 24 hours, and then I painted them. And this one actually was the amazing casting resin, because you see it's white at the back, and I've used mica powders on the mold to add this nice color. I do like using them, the mica powders, and the amazing casting resin looks really good instead of painting, but I mostly work with epoxy resin, which is see-through, kind of clear, and so I painted with my chalk paint. But you can probably still use mica powders, it's just that it's not going to give you the same color, because obviously it's different when it's white and it's different when it's clear. Okay, and let's quickly dry this. Now I want to highlight my squares in black. You can do it with a brush, but I would like only the squares to be black and nothing on the things. So I should really have like a flat sponge, which I don't have, but I have this. But that will be different, like to pull it. But we'll see, maybe I will like dab it a little bit. Let's see how it goes. I haven't done it before, so it might not work. But let's see. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, so dabbing gets it on the other bits as well, so going over it I think works a little bit better, but still gets me black on the background, but not too bad, so I don't mind. Let's go. Hello, Rocky. Okay, I don't know where the other crazy cat is. I hope she didn't escape. She's probably upstairs. So we have this special fence in the garden for the cats. It's called Protect a Pet. So our two youngest cats are not allowed anywhere other than the garden, like outside. But my other young cat is an Oriental cat, so they are very small and very agile. And she escapes all the time. Because Protect a Pet doesn't really work for Oriental cats. Rocky will never escape, he's too fat for it. Unlike a normal cat will never escape that. But Oriental cat, it's different. I'll show you. See? Have that special fence. And they have little beds that they can sit on, spy on the neighbors. So then, because the mesh is in an angle, they shouldn't be able to go over it, but not the Oriental cats. But anyway, let's do that, and then I should do the back. Yeah, that looks quite good. Maybe I'll do the back when it's standing up, so then this can still be drying on its own, like that. And I'm gonna do the back, and then I'm gonna dry it the same, standing like that. Okay, can you see? Ooh. Sometimes I'm pressing too hard, but other than that, it's working. It's fine. Then if something is not working the way you want it, just always claim that that was intentional anyway. Maquillé. That's what I was going for. Now to the sides. Pum pum pum. All the sides. And a little bit black there. Then we're gonna add gold highlights and stuff. At the very end, I always add gold highlights to everything. Furniture, small pieces, small crafts, anything. Gold is good. I hate gold jewelry, but I love gold on my craft. Okay, I'm gonna dry it. Then I'm gonna get some, I do have molds, but I'm gonna get maybe a couple of transfers. And then I also have this fun little tapes. I think I'm gonna use this one. It's like a sticky tape, so that's good. And we'll play. So I have few transfers. I'm just gonna cut them. They are actually Alice in Wonderland, kind of like a Christmas transfers. I don't know why there is Alice in Wonderland Christmas transfers, but there are. So I'm gonna use some of them that don't look too Christmassy. I think I can use that maybe at the back or something. That would be nice. And then there is this. There's a few other fun pieces. Oh, sorry, I'm just not showing you everything. There you go. The rabbit can be fun. So I'm gonna do the front first and see how many will I fit there with my molds, obviously, because I don't want to use the molds. And we will play around with it, with that, with the tape, and then with gold. I don't know if we're gonna add this diamond stencil, but we'll see. So let's put this down like this. And what can we do? Okay, so I have those molds, so let's start organizing it and see how it goes. So I thought so either Alice can go on this side and cover that line, or go on this side and cover that line. It probably works a little bit better on this side because she's kind of facing this way, so it will flow a little bit better, and then maybe she's like cutting the clock. Will she cut it, or will she just reach for it? Yeah, and then I can put the mushroom here, or I can also put the tree here first, and then the mushroom will go here. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then this will just be somewhere there, and then I'm gonna add the other transfers. So we're gonna start with this transfer, and I need a stick. I actually have the IOD transfer stick, which is really good, because every company have a different stick for transfers, and to be honest, I like the redesign with Prima least, because they are kind of shite. And I like the Dixie Belle stick as well, but then when I discovered the IOD stick, that's another level, so I like that one. Okay, so going over that raised stencil, it's a little bit harder, so you're rubbing over all of that. I hope that it will stick to my paste, because obviously it was only added today. Let's see, it might be a disaster, but maybe not, because small transfers normally work much better than the big ones. I don't know why, but they do. So just go over it. Help yourself with your finger as well. I'm rubbing quite hard because I'm going over that raised stencil, which is kind of like a marshmallow consistency, like a feel to it. So it's not like a plaster or anything, it's a little bit like softer, but it is dry. Because you can seal your notebook first, the same as furniture. You can seal it first and then you go with your transfers, but I never do that. Sometimes I regret it, but most of times it works fine. Okay, so I'm lifting with my finger from this side, like lifting this, but also pressing down on the transfer so it's staying. There we go. Twist it a little bit so I can see it better and you can see it better. Don't want to shake too much because then we're going to feel dizzy. Okay. Maybe not to bore you, I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, so this is on, and then you rub it with your finger around for the halo to disappear. I'm thinking about my tape. I think I'm gonna add my tape first before I add my molds. And there is a good way of blending the sides as well. Let's see what I want to add it. Oh, it's ripping. We don't want that. Never used them before. Let's see. Okay. So, and I also don't want like a straight line edge. So I'm gonna cut it like this, and I'm gonna gently pull, and do I want it from here? Yeah, maybe. There we go. And to the top. Oh no, I ripped it, so I'm just gonna do my line. It was supposed to go to the very top, but it ripped, so we're gonna work with it. Okay. A little plaster. A little plaster for my notebook. Does it look silly? I'm gonna put mold on top of that as well. We're gonna work with it. You live, you learn. I think it's something different. Okay, I'm gonna do another another plaster. Let's cut that. Cut that. Maybe I should have just cut that off. Oh! Okay, it really is like a tape. So let's cut them again. And let's do another plaster. My nieces, they love plasters. They're 5 and 7 and they love plasters. Should I go like that? Or maybe next to it. So then it's got purpose. Okay, like this. Okay, 2 notebook plasters. And now when I'm adding moldings, I heat it up first so it's a little bit more pliable, and then I'm gonna use super glue. You could also use this heavy body clay. It's really good and sticks really well, but it doesn't work that fast, so I would have to leave it then for a little while, and I don't want to. So I'm gonna do it with super glue as always. So I'm gonna heat it up. It doesn't take long, and you see it's moving a little bit, but don't heat it too much because then it's very easy to break it. Then I'm adding my super glue, and my super glue, it's like a water consistency, so I'm only doing those little dots because otherwise it will go everywhere and we don't want that. Okay, got my Alice, and Alice is gonna go here. Ooh. Okay, and then we press it down for a little while until it sticks. Okay, I did paint that prior, like when I was doing a furniture one day, but then I didn't use it, so I left it because then you can always repaint it, but it actually goes with the colors that I'm using here, so I'm not gonna repaint it. I might add some gilding waxes after to add some more color to her, but other than that she works fine. Okay, that's her on, and then we're gonna do the clock. So again, yes, I was actually heating them all up at the same time because they're small, so you can do that to save time. And then, yeah, she's gonna reach for the clock but not cut it. So it's kind of like me because I can't cut anything. My husband is trying to teach me how to cut, but I'm rubbish at that. And then, yeah, my mushroom is not warm enough, so let's heat this up again. So I was still pressing down my clock when I was heating up my mushroom. Then super glue, and we're going on that line where the postcard was ripped, so it helps me blend that line. And yeah, this notebook really needs some gold. Definitely, I'm gonna do it in a second. Should I go for the diamond stencil as well, or is that too much? Maybe not. Okay, and where is my third mold? There it is. So I'm gonna keep pressing this down and I'm gonna heat it up. Flew away. Yeah, now it's nice. Heat it up, and I'm gonna put it there. And then I think I'm gonna add a couple of more transfers here and there. And this will go here. Put the super glue to the side. My tape to the side. Okay, so let's see, should I add some of them? But it can't really be any like person or something, because then they would just like stand on nothing. So I might do the present, but would that be stupid? There is this little card, so I can definitely do that. Or should I do this here? Maybe, why not? Not everything has to make sense. Yeah, I think so. That can go there. There we go. Yeah, the transfer doesn't really want to work on that raised stencil here. I should have sealed it, but I mean, to still work, it's just not as quick. And obviously I don't want you to wait for me too long. So I'm gonna do it off camera. Okay, I also done the transfer at the back. There we go. So we have that at the back, and we have this at the front. That's a nice notebook. And let's do gold. So I need a brush. Fun brushes are good to use for highlights. Then I need my gold paint. Okay, and my tin opener. Yeah, you're probably feeling dizzy from all this camera movement. And there we go. So we have that, and we go sideways, and we doing some highlights. So you press in quite light. If you want more, you press harder, but first you press in quite light to see how much it's coming off your brush. And then I do the sides as well. Can go over the molds again, but the molds already had gold. And then, yeah, kind of want more gold. Okay, like this. See? That looks quite nice. So then I'm gonna go over the spine and the back. So I'm gonna put my notebook up like a little tent, and then I'm gonna go over the spine and over this raised stencil and over the whole back. So it's really catching the raised stencil nicely. And a little bit on the edges. And this is kind of finished. I'm gonna dry it, then lacquer it, and then maybe add some gilding waxes and stuff. But other than that, oh no, I'm making a mess with my lid. Whoopsie. Let's add that. Nothing gets wasted. Okay. And this brush goes in the water. And we can dry it. This is dry. Now we're gonna lacquer it, but I'm only gonna show you the cover because obviously the back will work absolutely the same. But the cover is more difficult because you have all the molds and all the other things on it, so you need to go around it. I always like to use kind of small brush, but a little bit wide and soft. And I'm using Annie Sloan clear matte lacquer. Oh, open. I'm gonna put some on the tin. I like working from my tins, if it's paint or lacquer, not tins, lids. Okay, and we're gonna go over everything. But when you see the smokiness, you cannot have that smokiness anywhere. And it's the same on furniture. So you're moving it around and you're getting rid of that smokiness, because if you leave it, it's gonna dry milky. And obviously we don't want that. Oh, what kind of hair is this? That was from the brush, I think. Okay, so you're going over the postcard as well, over everything with your lacquer, over your molds. And the same, when you are around the molds, you're gonna have all this build up of lacquer, so you want to move it around. You can dab your brush so it's definitely disappearing, then offload it somewhere else, because then you have too much lacquer on your brush. And then yeah, just look for that milkiness, because you don't want it. And then yeah, we go everywhere. And I do normally 2 coats on my furniture and on my notebooks, because with notebooks as well, it's kind of you know, you use it a lot, you throw them on the table, whatever, or in your handbag, and you're not really being too careful with them, so they need good protection. And in here, in the middle, everywhere, getting rid of that milkiness. And the lacquer also dries very fast, so I will use the hair dryer a little bit, but it does dry fast, so that's good as well. Yeah, getting rid of that build-up. There we go. Nice. I think that's kind of covered, and you see the color of the notebook now is much deeper and richer, which is good, because you're obviously adding moisture to it, so it just enhances the color. Okay, I'm gonna do the back, then dry it, do the second coat. And we are almost done. So it had 2 coats of lacquer. Now I'm gonna take those pieces of paper out. You see this at the front. Nice. This is our back. But we can use some golden waxes, maybe some gold. How much gold do I want? This is quite a bright gold. So you put on your finger like a tiny bit, and then maybe somewhere on the clock, somewhere on Alice. And then you never have to seal the golden wax, because it's a wax, so it seals itself. So you always, the golden wax is your last step. And sometimes I like adding them to the edges. Okay. A little bit here. Maybe to the spine. And a little bit at the back, so it all ties together. You can add different colors of the golden wax. And then my favorite part is I have this a lovely little machine. I don't know what it's called, but my husband bought it for me a while ago. And then I take the first page, I put it through, squeeze it, and get some gilded wax on my finger. And there it is. Don't know why my page is dirty. And there we go. And now everybody knows who made it. Finished. Quick little project. Took me about an hour because the video is 50 minutes, so with everything that I was doing off camera, probably about an hour. Not too bad. Awesome.